Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming back to the channel today. This is Steve, and we're going to be doing a quick video on the Back to Basics series. All right. I do apologize here. This is going to be part 3 on the Back to Basics series, and again, I am doing these videos here on this particular. This particular type of video simply because I seem to be coming across a number of people that are having difficulties in their practices, and I thought that maybe producing videos that were a little more along a traditional line of what people would be learning at the early stages of a magical practice would be experiencing. As opposed to most people who just jump in and start practicing out of a book, and they really haven't built like much of a foundation up to that point, and then they wonder why they're having problems. So I thought this might be a good time to provide some of these exercises, and hopefully you'll benefit from it, or you'll know somebody who will benefit from it. Okay, so before we jump into the Back to Basics video today, which we'll be talking about body positions, they're going to be used for various purposes during meditation or anything like that. I do want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That button should be here below this lower right hand portion. Select that little bell icon there anytime I put out new videos to the channel. You will be alerted to those videos being uploaded to my channel there, and you'll be able to go watch those as soon as you are possible. I also do encourage that you do like my videos. Leave a comment there. If you don't like it, please let me know as well. Let me know what was wrong about it, and if it was a technical issue or you just didn't like the content. I'll certainly go ahead and see about correcting either one as best as I can. And if you know somebody who can benefit from these videos, I do encourage you to share them and direct people to my channel. Alright, so again, we're going to be talking about body positions, and today I want you to familiarize yourself with these for your magical practices. Okay, now there's not a whole lot of them. It's really a matter of just learning to keep still, I guess, is part of the problem or part of the situation. For instance, in the first one, sitting still. I mean, obviously, we all know how to sit still more or less. While it doesn't seem difficult for most of us due to this. Doing this position in a set of different areas can be it might be a challenge in some situations. You do want to take note how you feel beforehand, during, or after the session. Just try to get like an idea of what it feels like. Okay, so what's the difference between, like, say, sitting in a chair if you're doing, say, a meditation or a ritual, because some people like to sit in chairs while they're in ritual, or on a stool, or as opposed to sitting on the floor. Are you sitting cross-legged on the floor, or are you in some other position while you're on the floor? Are you outside? If you're sitting outside on the ground outside, is there a different feeling you get from that, from absorbing all that earth energy that's coming up from the ground? How does that charge you beforehand or during or after your meditation or your ritual session? Do it near a body of water, a pond or a lake or a river, something like that. Do you get different energy flow, being near a water source, or maybe under a grove of trees? What does this feel like doing it like in a grove of trees somewhere? As opposed to, say, out in the open. All these are going to have, say, different senses and different feelings, and literally there are dozens of places that you can be doing this at. It's only limited by your imagination. Of course, try to make sure that wherever you do it, you're not doing it, say, like, don't do it in a trash dumpster. Don't go to the city dump, okay, and do it there. You don't want to be doing that. All right. If you do it in your backyard, don't do it over the area that your septic tank is buried. Okay, I've always gotten that one from one of my alternative medicine teachers. That always say, make sure that when if you do this practice outside, don't do it over a septic tank. You don't want to be, pulling up that type of energy into yourself or into your ritual. All right, so just kind of be conscientious about that, of course. So, and then of course you can try several yoga positions if you'd like to go ahead and see how you feel and how you generate different experiences or similar experiences, and in what ways are those similar or different. Okay, so there are many yoga positions, seated positions that you could try. Of course, probably based on your health. If you're a little older and you're not as flexible, you might not be able to do some of those, but that option is out there. Okay. The next one is standing still, and again, not too difficult at all for too many of us, especially if we're like a spry young 48 years. Okay, but especially in the beginning. But do look to change it up and see where you get those, how you experience those sensations. What's it like if you're standing up with your hands at your sides? Okay, or if you're standing up, what's it like? If your arms are pointed straight up, with your hands straight up in the air, do you get a different sensation doing that as opposed to some just with your hands by your side? What happens if your arms are outstretched, with your palms up or your palms facing down? If we talk about getting into banishing rituals, like lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram or banishing ritual of the hexagram, there's lots of body positions there, that you have to go through in some of those more traditional banishing rituals. And so, in what way, what sensations do you experience, when you do those positions? So go ahead and try different ones out, and see how you feel. You might want to include some of those into your practices, and you may not. So just go ahead and give that a try. Kneeling is going to be the third one we're talking about, and while for some this can be difficult, especially over a length of time. Okay, so if you're kneeling for a long period of time, you might have to provide some type of padding or pillow for the knees to be on, as well as behind the knees, to ease some discomfort and pain for being in that position for an extended period of time. Lying still is the next body position, and again, while this doesn't seem very difficult at all, usually the more common problem is trying to keep from falling asleep. Okay, when you're in this position, simply place your hands by your side with your feet together, lie still, breathe normally, and go ahead and apply, or you could apply one of the breathing techniques you've learned in the last video, and see if there's a difference. What kind of sensations are you getting? How does it feel before, during, after? Okay, or you could try a slightly different method. Lie with your feet together, but with your hands crossed over your chest. Okay, like say like in a mummy position. Okay, different sensation. Go ahead and give it a try and see what happens. For some, of course, as I said, the difficulty here is simply fighting the urge to want to fall asleep over an extended period of time. Okay. Mudras, while not a body position, more like a hand position, many systems of magic do have and make hand gestures that contain great power behind them. Okay, and one of these, typically, in yoga practices, especially meditative practices, you're going to see this. I do recommend that you look at Hindu artwork or read books on Hinduism. Especially look at the portraits of gods, the Hindu gods, Kali, Krishna, Brahma, some of the other names escape me at the moment. But get the idea. Look at the positioning of the hands. You're gonna see like a lot of them where they have like their fingers in, or they're touching in a particular way, or in a circle, or just open palmed or whatever. And you could try adding hand mudras to some of the body positions that you learn here. Okay, now the one thing I will say about mudras though is a number of years ago I was at a yoga seminar, and we had a couple of lectures that we had to go to during the course of the weekend along with practice, and our teacher at the time was doing one of his talks, and he was discussing he had artwork up. For instance, he had some Hindu artwork up, and he was talking about the hand positions and the mudras, and he was saying that in a lot of artwork, and especially not just picture artwork, but say more physical, like statues, for instance, he says that a lot of the mudras that you see in these are incorrect. They might have a position for the left hand on the statue, doing a certain thing, where it really should be the right hand as opposed to the left, or vice versa. So just try to take that into account. Go ahead and if you want to go ahead and exercise it and see what you get by adding mudras to your practice, by all means, go ahead and try it. Experimentation is always encouraged. Just try to take it slow. Don't rush it. Okay. However, I will go ahead and mention at this point another one that you might want to try is going to be runic body positions and runic hand positions. Okay, and this isn't talked about very much as in like yoga practices are generally when it comes to body positions and hand positions and mudras. But if you are familiar with the runes, especially the Elder Futhark, you will see that there is a form of runic yoga associated with the runes, and assuming these body and hand positions during times of ritual do help you to connect with the greater universal current of that rune. Okay, so for instance, my hand's a little messed up here, but for instance, Thorn, and of course my finger here doesn't stay up very well, is like this, right? Now, because my ring finger is very messed up, sometimes I do it with two fingers like this to get the position of Thorn. Okay, and you could try that differently. And you could try it with both hands. Okay, or trying to think of some other ones. Okay, again, I'm trying to get this like straight, like Fuhu. Okay, the first rune. And again, because of my ring finger, sometimes I'll add that one in there to get the same effect. You really gotta work on that. It's been a while. Okay. Anyways, I think you get the idea. So that would be like a hand position, like a runic hand position. Now, of course, for who would be standing where your arms would be like up in this position. Or what you would do is apply the hand position to that particular rune on both hands while you assume that position as such. Okay, that would be another example. That would be an example of a body position. Okay. Now I plan on talking about runes in a little bit. Not right now. Probably in a couple lessons after we get like some more videos out. I'll probably cover more like the younger Futhark or the Arminen Futhark as opposed to the Elder. But just because the Arminen Futhark is one that I'm more associated with. I'm more associated with the 18 rune set as opposed to 24 or 16. But I do suggest that you do search the internet for stuff like that, runic body positions, runic hand positions. You can also check out books by Edred Thorson, Stephen Flowers as sources for Runic Yoga as well. Okay. So with that, folks, we are going to call this video at this point. Again, it's just a very, very short video talking about hand and body positions for magical practices. And this is part 3 of the Back to Basics series that I'm looking to do here and that I'm filming. So I do appreciate your time coming to my channel, checking this out. And in the meantime, go ahead and make sure that you stay safe out there, stay cool. I know it's a hot one out there today, some places. And take care, folks. All right. Peace.